Welcome to PLZ Soccer's Football Podcast. I am absolutely delighted that you could join us. I'm Peter Martin in the studio with us, ready to talk football. Alan Rough, Tam Cowan, and I'm delighted to say our special guest this week is a winner, because we like to have winners on the show. Gus MacPherson here with us. We're going to talk Killie and those great memories of playing for them and the Scottish Cup win as well. But we've got lots to sift through with you, Gus. Do you wish you were still playing?
Yes, simple as that. They're the best days, when you're playing. I'm sure Alan would say that. Well, I hope Alan would say that as well. Just doing something that you love. Been fortunate still to do it. Yeah.
Is there a moment in, if I could transport you back to one day where you think, oh, I want to be there, it's the absolute peak, or apart from a cup win, is there just one age, one moment in your life you think, I'm back there?
Through experience, you'd love probably another opportunity. Never a day, but you look at an opportunity to know what you know now and take that into your preparation and your early part of your career at Rangers. Difficult time in terms of the revolution that was going on at that time, but you would have loved another crack at that. Yeah,
what would you do differently then if you say, okay, here's Gus MacPherson, the old head, but you're in the young shoulders, you got a full head of hair, you could easily be a villain in Starsky and Hutch because you're, nobody would recognise you. You're youthful.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, what would you?
Better professional.
Yeah,
simple as that.
No drinking.
Just living your life correctly. You try and preach that now to the players, but that was the generation. You just enjoyed being part of one of the boys, but you just weren't a good enough professional. Simple as that. Yeah,
Tam, I'm going to ask you that question because very rarely would they look at broadcasters with a complete misspent youth and say, is there a thing you would do differently?
Do differently? What would I do different? I would have learned shorthand.
What?
There you go. Yeah. I never ever did that. When I went to college, when I went to do journalism at Napier College in Edinburgh, when it was still a college, I couldn't get to grips with shorthand, so I just kind of blanked it. And I have the only reason I say I'd like to, I don't know where I would have used it now, right? But it's the recurring nightmare I have now. Sometimes you have the one about walking down Motherwell precinct in your pyjamas or running late for your history exam. The one with me is trying to learn shorthand, so I'd like to get that out of my head.
Yeah, it's funny, Roughie, I've never really had that nightmare of running down the middle of Motherwell in my pyjamas. I've always had a nightmare of
you, Peter, it'd be the nightmare for everybody else, no you.
I've always had a nightmare of somebody giving me a right tanking, Roughie, but never walking down Motherwell in the pyjamas. Do you have any nightmares like that, Roughie?
Nightmares would be the same as Gus. I just enjoyed every minute of it.
He was there at the 78 World Cup.
Well, 82. No.
Oh, God. You're he's unbearable, isn't he? Honestly. Is there something you would do differently?
No, I would get in and batter wee Bertie's door in for no selling me to Man City. When I just let it go as if, no, don't worry about it, son. You'll get a move eventually. You just walk away and go, oh, thanks a lot.
I've never heard you say that before. So what sort of do-re-mi would you have been on going to Man City?
Well, it'd been more than what I'd be getting at Partick Thistle, but it'd have been something to build on. I always wanted to play down in England, but
what year was that?
That'd be about 79, 80.
Is that right? I mean, they would have been there or thereabouts in the old First Division, wouldn't they? I mean, I think it was later on that they get relegated when Billy McNeil was the manager.
Yeah.
What age Billy brought them back up.
I'm 27, 28.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know when Gordon McQueen and Joe Jordan were at Man United, when they went from Leeds to Man United? How much do you think they were on at that time? I remember sitting having a beer with them. I remember them telling me, and I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Is this 76, 77?
Whenever they went to Man United,
right, okay.
I wasn't sure
they were on £500 a week.
450.
Is that right?
Fantastic guess, Peter.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's the type of money that, if you think about it, in the 70s, £400-500 a week is absolutely magnificent.
Well, Rangers, I think, at that time had a wage cap.
Yeah.
No, the boys, and I don't know the exact figure, but that's what it was, and I think it was Robert Pritz was one of the first ones to challenge it.
Yeah.
He's Swedish international and wanted more.
What were you on?
We were just in that apprenticeship money, so I think it was about £75.
Yeah, Pritzy was a good player, wasn't he?
Oh, top player. And I actually had, fortunate enough, Bobby Williamson brought him down to Kilmarnock as well, later on in his career. Outstanding player.
Yeah, was there ever a big move that you had a chance to go to that you tempted, somebody you knew was interested?
Well, Roughie's talking there about Man City. I mean, I had the opportunity to go to Exeter City.
Yeah.
And it just passed me by.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I'm not sure I wouldn't have held on to that Panini card if it was Gus with Exeter, Tommy.
Robert Pritz's Panini card, you can't get the book shut because of that hair.
I think Pritz was playing easily into his 50s. I can remember playing many a game with him, and he was well over 50. Good lad.
Robert played in the European Cup final
for Malmo.
For Malmo against Notts Forest.
Yeah.
I mean, top quality.
Absolutely, he was magnificent as well. But do you know another thing about him, Gus, that I always remember? See, when he played, his face went bright red. Right. You actually thought he was going to have a heart attack, but he was just a genius. Loved him. Okay, is there a disappointment not making it at Rangers? I've got a great question for you coming up.
Good.
Is it a disappointment?
He was due one.
No. Is it a disappointment you're not making it there? Is that the one thing you look back on? I mean, sometimes I always say, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty? I mean, do you look at that Rangers and think, oh?
No, no, not really, because I was, again, very, very lucky. I went to Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
91, that was. And Kilmarnock.
Who signed you?
Jim Fleeton was the manager.
Right.
I think I would give a lot of credit to Tommy Burns, God bless him, that he saw something in me. He went to... I've actually played in Walter McRae's testimonial on probably about 10 days before I signed with Kilmarnock, and then Tommy came to the reserve game that weekend, and then we were able to it was just you wanted to play first team football, and I had 10 fantastic years at Kilmarnock.
Yeah. Did you? I mean, we don't have to wax lyrical about him because I was great friend. I was really friendly with him, and his patter was magnificent.
Tommy,
Tam, the dressing room must have been a joy for you.
He had everything. I think probably 35, 36 when he was playing there at Kilmarnock, maybe a little bit younger. But you would actually look at him in training and in games, and you would think, what a player he must have been in his prime. George McCluskey, exactly the same, coming to Kilmarnock later stages of his career, outstanding. And you just thought, major factor in why Kilmarnock are even in the position they're in at the moment. Anything that we achieved or tried to do in football was all down to stuff that Tommy did with Billy Stark.
Yeah, and did he talk you through things? Because one of the things that a number of players mentioned when they were playing against him, never mind you playing with him, is the fact that he would just give you little nuggets and tell you things maybe off the park, maybe on the park while you're playing.
I can remember that in an Old Firm reserve game.
Yeah.
Giving his little piece of advice. I was a little bit disrespectful to him, and he said, I'll see you in the tunnel. But then, when I worked with him, he didn't talk you through things. He screamed at you. He made demands. And it goes back to that generation where you reacted to that. Now the question mark now is with the younger generation and the players, you make those sort of demands, they crumble. They can't handle those demands that were placed on us. And Tommy was a player manager at that time. And the group, the players, just, he said, you just jumped how high. It was fantastic times. Yeah,
I could just see you thinking there. He's saying Tam Burns, George McCluskey. You're thinking Coop right away, aren't you?
I'm thinking that Gus might even have played then in Davie Cooper's debut for Motherwell. When Motherwell came down the League Cup, we won 4-1. Nick Cusack scored a hat-trick. I'm sure you were playing in that one. And Cooper was, Cooper ran out that night. First game for Motherwell. Any game before then, because of the kind of Motherwell-Hamilton rivalry where Cooper lived, etc., he gets slaughtered by the Motherwell fans, and he gave it back. And Davie Cooper, any time he came to Fir Park with Rangers, he had this. It was almost as if it was choreographed for Singing in the Rain or that. It was like Gene Kelly. Whenever Rangers would invariably then score, Cooper would dance back up with his back to the east stand at Motherwell, but with both hands behind his back giving them the fingers, and it was just so the referee couldn't see it, and it was majestic. And lo and behold, when it's happening to you, I mean one night it was like one of the old Frankenstein films or something. There was a posse of guys wanting to get the torches and the shovels and all that out and get down to Motherwell Police Station. And being a young guy at the time, you like to drama and that. So I went down with this posse. absolute idiots who were wanting to complain. Classic thing that comes up, but it's come up in this show many a time, Peter, where fans, they dish it out for 90 minutes, and the minute they get a wee tiny bit back, they can't take it.
Yeah.
They're all offended. And we did go down to the Motherwell cop shop to complain about Davie Cooper. Again, as a fact. Now, I was only a kid, but grown men,
sure, Tom,
you know.
sure.
But no, but that was his debut, League Cup down there at Kilmarnock, and he was just majestic. And lo and behold, talking about fickle fans, when he ran out that night, after years of abuse for the Motherwell fans chanting his name, he gave it one of them to the Motherwell fans, and we were all pals. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing when you start wearing
Even
the
in
strip.
the position that you were in, even with Kilmarnock, I mean, you'd have come face to face with him quite a bit, Gus.
I don't think I played against him much.
Right.
But I was a kid at Rangers when he was there.
Yeah.
And he intimidated you.
Aye.
He was such a crab at so-and-so. He was so demanding.
Aye.
But again, go back to, I just don't know whether players could handle that nowadays.
Aye. Aye.
Outstanding. He actually had a feature in last night's programme.
Is that right?
And I was showing somebody, and quickly, do you know who that is? No idea. No idea who he was.
But when he was a veteran, but for a wee niggly injury when he was at Motherwell, and he was about 34 by the time, they were ready to take him to the 1990 World Cup. But it was just a wee injury kept him out. You know, absolute class act.
I remember that, actually.
Couldn't he run? No, he wasn't in line. Didn't he need it? You know, he just would take the ball up to shuffle it or just shift it a yard. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of players who had that ability, couldn't run, but it was just the technique.
Andy Ritchie's one.
Andy Ritchie's a perfect example of it.
George McCluskey as well.
George McCluskey. George McCluskey's skills
Tommy had a
unbelievable.
persona that everybody didn't really know unless you were in his sanctum of the dressing room or whatever, because he was a different person. You know, he was so competitive, as you say, so demanding. You know, my favourite story of Tam Burns is we were playing with Thistle, we were playing Celtic in a Glasgow Cup tie. And we were getting, do you remember the old Thistle? You had the away dressing was away down a corridor.
Yes.
Away down in the bottom. We were getting it renovated. No, it was getting done up, you know. So the builders had been in during the day, and Colin McAdam and Tam were having a right scene to, you know, the two of them, and then eventually the two of them get sent off. So this is Tam saying they were walking down the tunnel, the two of them. Colin's saying, I'm having you. As soon as we get in here, I'm having you. And Tam's going, come on. So all of a sudden, Tam's smart, you know, he's ran down the corridor, jumped in the away dressing room, and shut the door and locked it. So Big Colin's outside saying, I'm having you, and he's going, bring it on, bang, bang, bring it on. Next minute, the builders had left an opening round the back. So Tam's giving it, come on. Next minute, Big Colin's standing behind him.
It all crashed. What's the best bit of advice you've received?
I've received, it's probably the old bog standard one. You just work hard, be professional. I go back, Tommy, you know, lead your life correctly. I think we were going into the second half of the season, certainly, but I think it was only probably the last 10, 12 games. The season that it was the first season in the Premier League. And Tommy, he says, your sleep's important. Your sleep's important. The way you prepare for a game, after training, ever know the stuff that you now preach. And I want you to go home and just say to your wives, your girlfriends, your partners, whoever it is, that you've been told to live your life like a Trappist monk. That was what he said, and that's just how, you know, you think, what's a Trappist monk? What's that? What's that? But that's just preparation, you know, and making sure that you're ready to go. And not just a game. Every single day now. The way the game.
Find a barber in Glasgow will do that.
Well, he's found one now.
That wasn't through choice.
And how did the three of them take it when you said to them, you know, were they happy to accept that, or did they not want to accept it?
Who's that?
Your wife, your partner, and your girlfriend.
It's great. I'm just going home. I'm going to my bed. I'm going to sleep. That was it. It's just how you was.
You didn't do that, Roughie, did you?
I missed that area of that kind of advice. You know, we just did our own thing. We did what everybody did. You know, you train 10 to maybe 1 o'clock. You go up to a wee cafe, have a couple of rolls and sausage, and then you go up the road, then you have your tea, and you come back in the night. There was no that getting to bed early and have some pasta, and there was nothing. There was no advice.
That was probably the start of it. You go 93, 94, early 90s.
The person that I started thinking was Ken Dalglish. When we used to go away with Scotland teams, everybody would be ordering like smoked salmon and this and smoked salmon and that, and Kenny would just stick to the basics. It maybe been a rolled sausage or something like that, but that was all he'd be eating. Then he'd go up his bed, you know, him and Graham would go up the bed and we'd be like, what, you know what, go to the pub. All right, just go to your bed.
And with that in mind, just incidentally, Roughie, I was just thinking there, if there was a long corridor from when you come off the park and there was a long corridor down, did you not run down that long corridor once? Did you not meet a movie star down there?
Oh,
yeah, it was just a photograph, just a session.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
Well, it nearly was a session, but...
who was it? How big a movie star? Massive.
Are we playing the guessing game now?
Bigger than Gregory's Girl? A bigger film than that?
Not really, no.
No, it's probably about that level.
Right.
About that level, but big at the time. I mean,
massive.
Yeah.
Right.
You're mad.
And you nearly, aye. I used to love the Lassie films.
I feel guilty now because it was only an hour before the game.
Aye, exactly. And by the way, you think he's joking.
I know he's no joke.
I meant to say to you, I mean, is there a big...
Advice?
No, I'll get to advice.
Oh, sorry.
Your jets. Is there a big job that you wish you'd taken, or something that you wish you'd gone into? Not necessarily because I'm looking and saying that your career's been a failure.
No, there was one that in some respect I wish that I hadn't taken, because I was up to this day. I'm saying about getting... No, you're fine.
I can see
It's
it
not,
coming.
Look at him, me.
No, I can see it coming.
Not at all. This is great fun. It teaches you that money isn't everything in life as well, Gus. But no, that was doing the countdown to the bells for the Millennium Hogmanay 1999 at Stirling Castle. Right, and I thought, this will be a breeze, and it was excellent do re mi, and I thought, this will be fine. But I was all behind the scenes in these porta cabins until the night started, got underway, maybe for about 10:30, maybe at Hogmanay, and I was told to introduce a bit of music, and I'm even thinking it was a DJ or something. Quickly realised it was some couple of top bands and all, top kind of indie, kind of Scottish bands. The names escape me now. But when I was introduced up to do the Bizzo, I went up and I suddenly realised, as I was later told, there was 11,500 people there. And you get squeaky bum and then you get that, you know. And then the guy made the point of telling me just before I went on, pardon my French, and you think, what a way. I mean, you imagine this in a dressing room, you're meant to put somebody at their ease. Wouldn't it happen doing it this way? Just before it up, guy says, mind Tam, this is a Millennium we're going into, you're doing the countdown. Don't fuck it up. Right. And I ended up with 8 watches on. I had the whole front row. Mine give me a shout when it's nearly the bells. But to do that 10 night, I've never been as terrified in my life. And it's the old thing that we've talked about before. If you go to do's, or you host things, or you present award nights, or you speak in a bowling club in Blantyre, no matter what it might be, you sometimes think that you would panic more about a small crowd, but not at all. You know, I would always, I think a wee crowd's absolutely fine, and it's quite nice, and it's cosy. But God, don't know when I'm up there. Apart from that recurring dream I have, nightmare about no learning shorthand, the other one that's always up there with me has been in a castle and hearing chimes, and that was the bells at Stirling.
Yeah, the reason why I started laughing is because I thought you were going to say
what?
The hour.
Oh, the hour! No, I wouldn't. No.
With Michelle.
That which doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And when I did that, it was great. And me and Big Michelle McManus, and I see her at umpteen things, and I've worked her at things since then. And the great thing about that, then, what you take out of that is anything that I've worked with her at, we then gives us 15 minutes each to take the piss out ourselves.
Yes.
And you've heard me talking about that as well. Self-deprecation is a wonderful thing, so you never get too precious about anything like that, you know.
I have to say, and I'm not sooking up to her, but her act is absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
I mean, it is self-deprecating, but apart from that, she's a fantastic chanter.
She's got a great...
I don't know if you've ever been at any function.
No,
she's phenomenal. I mean,
she's
a brilliant singer. She's a phenomenal singer. You are unbelievable. she's got a great voice, but I really do like her act.
And a new album coming out as well. Michelle McManus's Greatest Hits.
That's great. I'm maybe he's unbearable, isn't he?
But I did these wear on stage.
I know. So we've done the advice. You've done the job thing. I thought you were going to go for that.
Fucking nightmare, though, and I can't believe you brought that up. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
You mentioned about being the professional. You suddenly get. I know 4 weeks is not good.
Can I tell you something about it?
Right,
the 4 weeks that they put us on at STV, right? The first week
was it good though?
In STV terms, it was good though, because it's only John Mackay and Sean Batty they've got to pay. So anything else that they had kicking about, you could get a wee pocket full of it. But in all honesty, this is no excuse, right? But because the show was awful. But the 4 weeks that we were on, 3 of the 4 weeks, this is what we were head to head with. The final of the Great British Bake Off, right, was on at the same time one night. The other night, it was the revelation of a murderer in River City. Right. It was on one night. And then, if I take you back, you might remember the game. It was 2012, a right big game that we had against Spain. And I think we get beat 3-2 or 3-1.
Oh, yeah, remember it. Yeah, your entry scored for Spain.
3 out of the 4 weeks, and that shows history. Thanks for asking. It was, that's what we were up against.
Yeah, just amazing that I said to him, oh yeah, I remember it, your entry scored for Spain, which means I wasn't watching your programme.
So what was your reaction when somebody came to you and said, Tam, this is no working?
They didn't, they just rub it in. Hey, this is all these years been waiting to get back at me for anything Iran or Peru or anything. But anyhow, what I was going to say, I get the call. Slight JFK moment. I was driving down my Farers in Motherwell, in Airbow Street in Motherwell. Me, the wife, and my baby, Tot, in the back seat. She was only just born. Every penny was a prisoner. And they gave me that cold call down the phone. But STV, the habit of that, they tell Colin McCready that he was getting jotted for Taggart after about 20 years when he was walking down Byers Road, pushing a pram with his wee lassie in it, you know?
Yeah.
Heartless bastards. I hope I find one of the former bigwigs of STV. I'd love one of them to walk into this building. Yeah. That's for sure.
Or down Motherwell in pyjamas so you could leather them. Anyway, I share your view. It's still painful, Roughie. I can't even talk about it.
The only time
podcast.
I feel good talking about the hours when I talked to Grant Stott and Andy Walker, who killed Scott Sport.
By the way, I swear to God, this is a
that was an institution.
Oh, this is a God's honest truth. I was through at a Radio 4th reunion. This is a couple of years back, and Big Grant was there. He's a brilliant guy. I know his family. We're all good pals. So he comes in, and our show's gathering a bit of pace, and he said, oh, he says, the show's doing well. And I says, yeah, it's going well, Grant. He says, so when I'm on, and I says, calm your jets, big. And I says, you killed Scott Sport. You're not getting near our programme.
Absolutely.
It was unbelievable. Anyway, apart from that, you mentioned professionalism. Kilmarnock, was that the point where you really started to get the head down and become a better professional? And obviously, I mean, you played in some right good teams there.
Probably not, but the team was successful. I think there were 2 or 3. When I was coming out of Rangers, there were 2 or 3 clubs that were interested in Kilmarnock. The main reason was Tommy Burns. You know, and
but 350 appearances. You know, lots of managers must have liked what you did on the park.
I was lucky at Kilmarnock in terms of injuries. At Rangers, I had numerous injuries, had surgery on my knees, both knees, and just cartilage, just wear and tear, even at an early age. Just trying to trim that, and then went to Kilmarnock, and for the 10 years, I had very few injuries. I think I had an ankle ligament injury, and just reasonably consistent.
The good thing about it from your point of view is when anybody, and Tam knows this from the 91 Motherwell side, Roughie knows it from the 1971 Partick Thistle side, is the fact that you're part of, don't bother looking at me, I'm not going to tell you, but you know it from being part of that, Kilmarnock Scottish Cup winning side. It's legendary. People remember you. They'll rhyme off the 11 players, 1 to 11. Is it a day that will live with you forever?
Oh, without a doubt. And again, it's not so much the game, the disappointing thing when you're coming up, you're playing football, you think the Scottish Cup final will be at Hampden. The court, Hampden was under reconstruction. It was at Ibrox.
Yeah. The
game flies by, but it's the scenes after it that I think most players if not all of them, would comment on was when we went back to Kilmarnock on the open top bus.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And even the celebrations thereafter were just fantastic.
Would that have been a wee tiny bit better if it had been at Hampden?
I think so, cause just because of the history of it.
I mean, that night you wouldn't have been caring where it would have been played, but I just, and sometimes a few Kilmarnock fans, whenever I've mentioned this, think I'm having a go, having a dig, we won it at Hampden, but it's actually just a wee bit of sympathy. I've got a few pals that support Kilmarnock. I've met many of the guys in that team, and I just think that would have just given it that extra bit of sheen. Now, it was unfortunate Hampden was obviously being renovated at the time. The final was at Ibrox, and I'm sure, maybe, who knows, maybe it was an even better atmosphere because it was Ibrox, the usual criticisms that are levelled at Hampden, but I just wonder if that's get taken away. But if you add that in just as a conversation piece, you get some fans thinking that you're having a go, the same way that when I had a slight, and it wasn't even a pop at the Hibs fans, but when the Hibs fans ran on the pitch at Hampden when they finally won it in 2016, I just thought that was appalling, in that they had waited 114 years to win the trophy. And because he invading the pitch, albeit invading it out of sheer joy, over-exuberance, I believe is a phrase that Rod Petrie used at the time, but it just spoiled the end of the game, the lap of honour and the proper presentation of the trophy, But if you mention anything like that, folk think you're having a go. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's littered throughout the entire history of the highs of so many teams. Rangers, what was the story of the Barcelona? What happened there with John Gregg? What was the story again? Rangers couldn't actually get to lift the cup. Strangely enough, at that time, they didn't really have a good idea of the enormity of a presentation anyway. But with the fans coming onto the pitch, there's no danger all the players were going to be, on any kind of a platform. So that wasn't happening. I don't think it was even something that happened around about the early 70s anyway. But then, of course, you invade the pitch. Greggy and the rest of them end up in waiting, wondering where the cup is. And apparently, John Gregg told me, he says it was just a nightmare, he says, because eventually a UEFA official came up and just handed him the Cup Winners' Cup.
It's the same.
Billy, only man up there at Lisbon. None of the rest of the players got to lift the European Cup at that point.
It's the same at Ibrox. It's taking nothing away from Ibrox at all, but you, as a kid, you think Hampden, associated with the cup final, walking up the steps, being able to present, receive the trophy, and showing it off, coming back down, then doing that. We just didn't have it because it was awarded. It was presented on the pitch. So just those little things. You know what? As well, Peter. Sorry, Gus. What I never realised. God, you're absolutely right. I'm thinking. When you think of the iconic image, Billy McNeil holding that European Cup. You're right. I've never seen anybody else. Yeah, and I'll tell you even worse than that. Holding it. Aberdeen won the Cup Winners' Cup, and it was handed to them. They were just all walking in a line. There wasn't any platform. There was no. Here's the whole 11 of them, and there's the cup. They were all, I mean, I don't know if it happened at some time when they were walking around Gothenburg, but the reason why it probably didn't is because it was absolutely belting down with rain. You would have got the sensation though, didn't you?
Yeah, we got it because obviously, it was at Hampden and everything that went with the surprise of the score and everything, but that people don't realise that some football players only get to Hampden once in their lifetime. And if you start taking it somewhere else, if you're young growing up, all you think is, I'm going to play in a final at Hampden, I'm going to beat Hampden, and there's not that many clubs get there. There are clubs who get there more regular than others, so when you get there, you've got to sample the whole day, everything that brings with it, the driving up in the bus, driving along the road, coming, turning into Hampden, seeing all the supporters, all that stuff is special memories. It's the same, going off the tangent, a cup final, it's the same in Queen's Park, playing their games, the opportunity that gives League 2 players to play at the National Stadium was incredible. I'm sure when the fixtures came out at that level, these guys, the players, whatever clubs would be looking, when am I going to Hampden? It was just the image and everything that goes with Hampden. I can't believe you've left them now, Willie Hockey. Thousands of pounds going in there. Allegedly. The redevelopment of Leicester Hampden. It could be a club going up, Roughie. There is no doubt it is a club going up, but it's a fantastic football club. 4.5 years there. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It'll change.
and it's just a fantastic opportunity for
But
Raymond and his staff.
They couldn't risk a club with the history of Queen's Park disappearing.
No.
And the bottom
You're right.
line is absolutely no harm to them, but East Stirlingshire would appear to be as good as gone. Berwick Rangers, a famous club in the history of Scottish football. You
Breaking are in trouble.
Famous upsets, yep.
They want to be they want to be competitive.
Aye.
Yeah.
And to be competitive, you've got to try and sign the best players in that.
Here's a question for you. I was, that team that won the Scottish Cup. I've got a favourite in that team that I liked. I liked watching him everywhere he went. I thought he was a great player, but I'm not going to tell you him until you tell me who was the standout for you in that Kilmarnock side.
You'll be going for somebody at the top end of the pitch.
Okay.
You've got no imagination, Peter. You'll just be thinking about one of those experienced strikers. You'll probably say Jim McIntyre.
Nope.
Where was the guy with the best?
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy with the best shot in the team
Bunyan.
was opposite you, I thought, at left back. What a few goals he scored. Mauser.
No, he didn't play in the cup final.
Did he not play
No,
in the cup final?
you're talking about Tam Black.
Aye. Did he not play in the cup final?
No, he didn't play in the cup final.
Right, there you go.
It was
I just
Dylan.
always remember seeing him scoring.
Dylan,
He was a regular. He
Yes.
was one of those ones you would automatically associate.
My player at that period of time, I mean, Bunyan Paul's exceptional striker.
Yep.
Jim McIntyre as well.
Jim
had
McIntyre's
a good career.
player, yep.
But there was a young kid that just broke into the team
The blondie hair boy.
probably 3-4 months prior to it. Alec Burke.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Underachieved massively in his career.
Yeah.
Top player he could have been.
Yeah.
In that period there, that probably 18 months when he first came into the first team. Outstanding. He really was.
Who did you think we were going to go for there, Ruffy? Just talk into the
talking
microphone.
about-
It's
no,
a novelty.
I didn't think we were talking about the cup final, but if it was out with the final, he oozes with, what do you call him, the foreign name? Eramenko.
That's
I know, it's not the
two
final.
decades
I
later.
know, it's no, I'm just saying.
No, I never played with him.
No.
I'm saying that's the Kilmarnock player he always raves about.
Oh,
Nobody
but
else.
Gus,
Top
You want a
player.
foreign name? The goal. Who was your goalie at the time?
Dragoje
Aye.
Lekovic.
He was a better
Yeah.
player. He was
Aye.
a better player as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
I can't remember where he came from, but no, he was outstanding. I think he went to Atletico Madrid.
Right.
After
Who did
that-
you play in Europe after winning the cup?
Oh, we mixed success. We played Shelbourne,
That's right.
I think
yep.
it was.
do you win?
We beat Shelbourne. Then we played Nice and got battered over there in France. But we gave a good account of ourselves back at Rugby Park. Another year when we were in Europe, we played a Czech Republic team, Sigma Olomouc.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They were outstanding.
Yeah.
Really were. And another year we played Kaiserslautern.
Right.
So we played what would be considered the minnows in the previous round. I think it was Iceland, Ireland. I can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
But then you played some real top teams.
Just before we finish, we always like to throw 2 or 3 quick fire questions, just mad ones. You've had an illustrious career. Funny stories? Anything that sticks in your mind?
We've got the one.
Yeah.
The pair of us involved with
that's my
Duncan
favourite.
Ferguson.
I love that.
But we've told it before. If
Yeah.
anybody wants to know it, they can come back to you. There was one that I remember, he's even gone back to Love Street. And again, it's talking about demands and young kids that at half time. It might have even been at the end of the game. John McGregor was the coach of the Rangers reserve team, and he was going off in one. He was talking about Robert Pritz. He was going to combust. He was bright red, but the window was slightly ajar, and he's leaning against the window frame, and it was just the old sliding wooden thing. It came down and trapped his fingers while he's in mid-rant. we couldn't laugh.
Yeah.
We just couldn't laugh, but you were watching him just try to get his fingers back out the window. It kept going. He just kept going. I don't know how long, but then when he stopped, and that's when he said, "Get any chance somebody get my fucking fingers out this window." And it just diffused the whole situation. But we were just young kids,
Yeah.
But
You ever had your fingers stuck somewhere they shouldn't have been?
Watch once.
By the way,
What did you say there?
he lost his watch once.
No. What did you automatically look at?
Oh,
You
dear.
never even looked at it.
Oh no.
Anyway, and the worst. Brilliant, Tam. The worst bit of gear, Gus. I mean, you were kicking about 80s, 90s. I mean,
worst bit of gear.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. The reason I mention that is because my mates give me pelters. I bought a suit and it had a zip up the back. It zipped. It was one of those, you know, those ones that they sell you in Edinburgh as a designer. Oh, you look great in that.
Well, I've got one. I wore it when we were doing contract talks for this.
Bad gear was the norm back then.
I
You'd
know.
the yellow, bright trousers.
Doesn't beat Roughie's. Roughie's from the 1971 League Cup final is magnificent. I mean, it's just embarrassing.
I remember that shop at the top of Buchanan Street, Cecil G's.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go in there, like velvet suits, blue and velvet suits.
That was the cup final suit.
No, it was a jacket. I'll show you.
Honestly,
I had a jacket. It was the coat of many jacket of many colours.
I
don't know why I bought. I don't know why I wore it.
When this, I mean, obviously on audio, the podcast. Thank you very much. By the way, I have to tell you, Tam, we're heading up this top 40 podcasts in football. We're going in the right direction, Tam. We're chasing number one. So thanks to everyone who's sharing it and enjoying the chat on it. But if you watch the programme, the podcast, you can watch it on YouTube. We will, Roughie, put in a picture of you with that jacket that you wore.
Oh,
it's a belter.
I'm looking forward to it.
You can see it. I don't know why I wore it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You still pulled though in the night though, didn't you?
Oh, I'd already pulled because I had somebody at the game just in advance.
Get Tam, 1,000
I'll
yards.
give you a picture as well for me. I think you've seen it as well of me. The classic picture, 1982 for the second year disco, with my white cardigan, my burgundy Fred Perry polo shirt, my burgundy stay press, my white terry towel and socks, my black slip-on loafers, and I had when you talk it, you say bad gear, but I had a wee thing that just brought the whole outfit just out the wee bit of je ne sais quoi. Unlike everybody was wearing either a red or a black Harrington jacket, you mind them?
Yep.
I'd get this kind of lilac-y light blue one, and made you stand out for the crowd, Gus.
Was it stay press or was it waffles?
Oh, I tell them as well. No, I think they were the next year.
But they were the waffle
Crazy House in Bell Street near the John Gate. You were in there, you could get all that gear. It was great.
And unlike Roughie, I presume you just went home on your own that night.
Oh, absolutely, I always did.
Here's a question for you. The night before 71, when we played Celtic, I went to a concert the night before in the Apollo.
What?
In Glasgow. Who was playing?
David Bowie.
No.
Right.
It's a group.
Tam. Oh, it's a group. 71. Mott the Hoople.
No.
Thin Lizzy.
No.
Thin Lizzy.
Oh, the Who. We were
you're not giving Gus a guess.
I was going to say the Eagles, but no.
The Who. Were they good?
Fantastic. Unbelievable.
Okay. Listen, that's been an absolute joy. Great going down through. I must just to mention as a reporter, you always rely on a good relationship with players and managers, and eventually after about at Clyde, I would obviously go to St Mirren. He was the manager. And after 240 weeks of nothing from him, right, he was honestly the most bland. He used to go to Lars and they teach him how to answer reporters so that he could keep everything in-house. And I said to him one day, I said, "Oi, come on, you're ripping my back end here. Give us something. There must be something happening at St Mirren. You can give me an exclusive, right?" So he says, "Yep, there is." He says, I'm not kidding you." And I says, "What is it?" He says, I've phoned, I made a bid for Duncan Ferguson." And I was like, "This is Duncan was the end of his career, and I was thinking maybe the last year go to St Mirren." And I said, "You're kidding me." He says, "No, I'm telling you." He said, "I phoned and it's not happened." And I said, "I don't care that it doesn't happen. The mere fact you phoned makes it a story." So boom, I went away back to Clyde. Tell him what happened next. You're on the bus with the boys.
That was the thing. We drove the minibus, took the boys to training back and forth, and I hadn't told us so. And then you just turned the radio up.
You told the boys though, didn't you? You said to them, "Oh, by the way, we're leading."
Lead story. Sorry, that's what it was.
We're going to be the lead story on Radio Clyde Sports Desk, and the boys are all looking, going, "No chance. It'll be Celtic or Rangers." They went, "I'm telling you, we're leading," and that was it. I can exclusively reveal Duncan Ferguson. St Mirren fans veering left and right off the road in Paisley.
I actually saw him 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
I was down watching Everton Arsenal.
Yeah,
under
try not to
23s.
date. Try not to date the programme, Gus. We've just talked about it with Tam. Any chance, by the way?
He was in great form.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant he was.
Good stuff. Listen, Gus has been an absolute joy. Kilmarnock legend, St Mirren as well. Great career. Pish at Rangers, but nevertheless, still worthy of coming into the studio. Thanks to Roughie, thanks to Tam. Thanks for following us on the podcast. Every week we'll have a special guest. You can listen to it across all the audio platforms, and if you want to watch it, you can on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Thank you again.